And I'm really pleased to welcome our next guest, Mr. Christoph Brecht, VP of Sales for EMEA at Build38. Christoph, can you hear me?
I hear you well. A little bit distorted, but fine.
Okay, great. Well, we can hear you loud and clear, so that's the good news. So
Perfect.
let me just introduce you. You're the VP of Sales, EMEA at Build38, and
Correct.
you're going to be talking today about the challenge of making apps that are great, but they're also safe. And we've had a
Yes.
lot of conversations already today about this challenge of innovating, but also staying safe and building safety and security at the same time. So
Yes.
really fantastic. Looking forward to hearing you. And also I should mention that Build38's product was the PwC award winner for Cybersecurity Solution of 2020, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to hearing it. The
Well
stage is
researched.
yours. The stage is yours.
So first question, you see my slides?
Yes,
Well,
very well.
okay, great. So thank you very much, Anders, for the introduction. So just to give you a little bit, because I think Build38, you probably never heard. So Build38, we are actually all about mobile apps. Yeah. So our vision is a mobile world free from fraud and malicious attacks. But before I go into detail here, I want to have a brief look back into the history. So when we look back actually 20 years ago, we had mainly desktop and browsers. When I remember when I became an IT professional, I think I had a mobile, but it was text-based, so there were no real apps. And all the businesses and all the interaction with companies was mainly either face-to-face or desktop and browsers. Yeah. So there were absolutely no apps there yet. Yeah. So what we see, why I like to mention this is I like to compare these times to the nowadays a little bit, because at that time we learned what it means to protect websites, online shops, because these things were the main front end in digitalization to our end customers. Yeah. So at that time we learned sometimes the hard way what it means to protect ourselves against the bad guys. Yeah. So then everybody knows it was nice to have a mobile. I still remember my first mobile was an HTC Desire. And when I think about it, I think the first time I installed a mobile app must have been 15 or 16 years ago. At that time, it was more like a game, right? I think you could do email, but you could not really do business. You could not really buy things. This was way later. Yeah. But this is actually where we started. And it took definitely some time until the mobile business became such important factor as it is today. Because today, we have something what we call a mobile first world. Mobile first means that the mobile app has a very high priority. Very often companies try to have a mobile app first on the market and then maybe take into the consideration to have a website or an online shop. Of course, this is for companies who do not have an online shop 20 years ago already. So mobile first means companies concentrating on getting their mobile app first on the market, because this is very representative. It is state of the art. You show that you are modern, that you're agile. Yeah, this is mobile first, and this is where we consider ourselves where we are at the moment. What we definitely see already that everything is moving to something we call the mobile only world. And mobile only world means obviously there will be only an app there. There will be no website, no web shop anymore. You see this very often nowadays already. No? Probably you all have experienced this already, that sometimes you had an app and then you checked, oh, let's check the company website. And the website simply just gave basic information and told you, please refer to the app. So this is something what we definitely will be in the coming future. And what we definitely see through COVID-19, sorry to mention this, but we are accelerating. So it goes very, very quickly. Yeah. So the way we are developing is we're getting more and more mobile, and maybe an assumption between 5 or 10 years. Maybe we will have only apps anymore. We will only have embedded devices. What I'm meaning with here, mobile apps, of course, although 15 years old, are now the big thing and are getting more and more important. Because nowadays, brand delivers services to 3.5 billion smartphone users through apps already. As you might know, how many people live on this earth? So this is a huge number. even more people have access nowadays to smartphone apps than to mobile websites. I think this is very interesting, but actually mobile app users are a bigger chunk of the world's population than mobile website users. Yeah. Before COVID-19, App Annie, which actually is a scientific company which takes care about some researchers or whatever, said already that by 2023, we will have a revenue forecast of $156 billion actually in total. So this is a huge number, and this is in 2 years. However, this number is coming from the pre-corona time. No? So we agreed already, I think, that we are accelerating dramatically. We are getting more and more mobile now. No? And now through COVID-19, everything is accelerating. So this number was big already, and it's probably much bigger. I don't know if it is 200 billion. Anyway, it is a huge, huge market. Yeah, we are moving fast to a really big thing. It is a big thing already, but it's getting even bigger. No? So how do we secure this? Because the bigger the market gets, the more attractive it is, of course, for the hackers. Where there's a lot of money, there is a lot of money to grab in a malicious way. So how to help yourself? Now, first, number one, there are pretty easy 4 questions you should ask yourself if you are secure. And always keep in mind, please, that apps are usually installed on private devices. Private devices means you have no control of the device. No? When you have a website, you still have a web server you can protect. When you install an app on a smartphone of your end customers, you have no chance. You have no chance of the device. You don't know if it is safe. You don't know if it's secure. And you don't have control of the maturity of the end user. So this is a little bit different scenario, and it's a little bit more complicated. But of course, I wouldn't talk to you if you wouldn't have a solution. But going back to the 4 question, of course, in the session before, we talked about already data. Is data gold or uranium? I like the uranium, by the way. So this is clearly, we have an untrusted device. And of course, it is very important. Do I know if my data is stored securely? Data storage is still always the most important thing. We don't want to lose our data, and we know how powerful it is if you lose it and if you have it. No? So of course, is application security ensured over the complete lifetime? Does it help me when my app, for example, is safe now, or can I guarantee that it is safe in 3 or 6 or 12 months as well? No? Very often we are very good in doing the present thing, so it's safe, secure now. But how do we guarantee that we are safe in 1 year as well? What is our process here? Can we guarantee this? No? Is communication secured end-to-end? It's lovely when my app is safe, yeah? When my data is stored securely, but when I don't take care about the secureness of the communication. So we should take care about this as well. And last of the need, can anybody clone my app and credentials? So this is a thankful question when I'm talking in an event which is actually based in Stockholm. I give you just one example. What is a cloned app, in case you don't know? But everybody knows Spotify, I assume. So there was a version Spotify. I think it was called Spotify Plus, which you could purchase in the app. And Spotify Plus was actually a version of Spotify, which had additional features the original app didn't have. So customers, clients, Spotify users were very keen in getting this. They were willing to spend money in order to get features what they couldn't get in the original app. However, what the users didn't know, this was the cloned app. So hackers simply took the app, modernized them, added features to this, and sold them separately, parallel to the original app. The bad thing is, Spotify themselves, they didn't see €1 from this purchase. So you do not want this to happen. You do not want that your app is copied, make it more prettier or more customer relevant, if they know, and then make a different business out of your intellectual property. Mm-hmm. So the overall question when it comes always to security is protection always ahead of the hackers? I think we are all very long time already in it, and it is very tricky to be ahead. We are very often in a reactional mode. Yeah? Ahead being of the hackers, usually, tough. But I want to show you how we maybe can address this, because there is a solution to the thing. Anyway, when we talk about apps, it's definitely we talk about app developers first. Yeah? Apps are not growing somewhere, you have to develop them. And app developers have very, very different and high challenges today. First, number one, they have to guarantee that your app is protected against the attacker. They have to certify a security researcher actually who checks your app out, if it is compliant, if it is positive, if the security researcher says, yes, it is safe. And then, of course, last but not least, the end user, he needs to have a nice designed functionality, a fancy app, which is prettier than your competition, which just makes fun to use. Yeah. But this is not everything. Yeah. Of course, he has to be a great designer. He has to be great in giving functionality to the app. And then, of course, he also has to give great security to the app. So honestly, how likely is it that you find such a developer? So of course, we all know it cannot be only one, but we know that app developers are rare resources, yeah? Are rare resources, and it's very difficult to find one. And then you even have to have a team of developers who can do all of these things. And in order to make it more scarier, just to give you an outlook, these are the top 10 reasons why you are not safe when you have a mobile app. So it's not only the big categories I just mentioned to you. All these are the top things only, by the way, actually, what you can do wrong when you develop an app. Yeah. So it's very, very difficult to find experts who can do all this great design, great functionality, and great security. It's very, very challenging, very, very difficult. And I think big companies can be happy because they can afford it. Yeah. For smaller companies, it's almost impossible to do this. Yeah. Next to this, if you have a mobile business, of course, you have some nice companies with have-your relations, where you also have to follow up that you are compliant to a PCI DSS standard, for example. So it's getting more and more complex. So what can you do? No? What can you do in order to resolve this? Yeah? The big challenges you have. Yeah? And it could be a very easy answer, an SDK that takes care of all security needs. So a software development kit, what you easily integrate maybe into an app, which actually takes care about all the security features. So an SDK could, for example, look like this, yeah? Or let's say with all the functionalities. So we do not have enough time to go all these squares, but this SDK, for example, has a development time of 6 years. And in 6 years, we did nothing else. So we didn't have to concentrate on functionality or on design. We only concentrated on security. And this is basically what you need. You need people who are expert in security and only concentrate on this specific topic. Yeah. So what does it mean in general? Well, we talked already, can you be ahead of the hackers? And very honest answer, I don't think so. But what can we do? Well, we can make it more and more difficult. We can make sure that the hacker spends more time. And what we want to achieve, that the hacker has to spend so much time on hacking a specific app that he simply gives up. Or let's say he gives up and he says, oh, damn, there must be an easier victim for me. So how can you achieve this? Make each installed app unique. It is not enough that you have one encryption key when it comes to data again, one encryption key for all your app installations. If the hacker hacks it once, in the rare case, but you have it hacks it once, you're in big trouble. So make each installed app unique. Each app installation should get a unique encryption key. So if you have 10,000 installation, 10,000 different encryption keys. Yeah. And in order to make it even more frustrating, renew these keys. So every app gets a unique key and even exchange this key on a regular manner. For example, every 4 weeks. So the hacker says, no, this doesn't make sense. I have to invest far too much time and maybe money in order to get into this app. So I give up, I don't do this. So we are not really ahead of the hacker, but we just make his life miserable because he will not get to the point where he wanted to be. Yeah. So going back to our app developers, yeah, the app developer with the big challenges, how can we ease the thing for him, or maybe for the hiring person who needs to look for an app developer? Well, very obviously, the app developer should take care about the app attacker, secure the app. Well, leave it to the expert, leave it to them who don't do anything else, just concentrating on how to keep app attackers away from the app. Security researchers, those people who check your compliance for example, or write about it. Leave it to the expert. Everything which comes into their aspect, leave it to the expert so that your app developer can really concentrate on what is the most important thing for you, obviously, and this happy customers. Happy customers usually have a great user experience and they do not care too much about security, or let's say they care of security, but they don't think too much about it. So the best security is the security that your end user doesn't really feel and see. No? So great design, your app developer, your company, your app development team can take care of this. Great functionality, yes, this is something we want to see. This keeps our customers happy. That keeps our customers actually. And great security, in order to make everything safe, again, leave it to the experts. Other things, of course, it's not only about the app. We all know apps talk to application servers, right? And in this street, I want to show you, we have the app here, and we have a primary channel which connects to the application server. What we can do, actually, you see that this application server is talking to a secure platform. So why is this necessary? In this sample, a customer is purchasing a ticket through an app. Let's say it's a concert ticket, and this request is reaching the application server. Now the application server has to decide two things. Number one, is this request really coming from an app? Because you can fake this. And number second, is the app safe? And this is why we have this connection to the application, to the secure platform. Because we can give the answer at the end, is it really coming from the app? And is the app safe? Is everything fine? Is the integrity given? And once we give this information back to the application server says, okay, fine, let's continue with the purchase. Next to this, it's always important to predict things as well. So we can give intelligence information, how your app is used out there. How often do users install it on a rooted device, for example? How often was a code injection attempt taken place? Where are our apps, how used? Yeah. So you get even intelligence data. What is our app doing out there? This is what we want to know. So the goal is, of course, to have a non-existing or unaware of experience to a substandard, what most companies are, compliance-focused, what more fintech companies are very often, to a company what has an operational excellence. Yeah. This is something which we have to concentrate on. Yeah. And this takes a lot of effort. And again, I want to repeat myself, leave this to the expert. So a short summary, threat of mobile attacks is growing. Yeah. Prevent damage to your mobile business and your company's reputation. Ease in the search for good developers. Yeah. And Build38 can protect your apps and help you with this. Yeah. And this is my last slide. I hope it was interesting. It gave you guys some insights to the topic. Yeah. And if you want to, I'm happy to talk to you and give you more details on what Build38 can do for you. Thank you very much.
Christoph, thank you so much for a very interesting discussion. I really like the idea about the ability of, sort of dividing security and designing the app so that you can keep the customer happy, and the app designers are really focused on the job that they're getting paid to do. Yes. So thank you so much for your presentation.
You're welcome.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.